Well, Rand Water says it will begin its maintenance operations at the Eikenhof pump station in Johannesburg on Monday after already having completed work ahead of schedule in Mogale City. On Saturday, the bulk water entity kicked off its 37-day maintenance project here in Gauteng in an attempt to preserve the quality as well as integrity of its infrastructure. Residents and businesses can expect low water pressure at times whilst work is being conducted. The maintenance work will affect Johannesburg water systems that are supplied by the Palmeet as well as Eikenhof pump stations as well as the Daleside booster. The utility assures residents that taps will not run dry, and it is promising to communicate effectively with users.
The project commenced yesterday in Mogale City and it has been completed well ahead of the schedule. Normal pumping was not affected as only 1 meter was impacted. Now we will be moving to the Eikenhof system. Rainwater will continue to provide updates throughout the maintenance period. Rainwater has requested municipalities to advise their customers on the extent and the impact of water supply in their respective areas.
All right, let's now welcome Dr. Ferrial Adam, who's the Executive Manager of WaterCAN, to weigh in on the current water challenges here in Gauteng. Doctor, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon and welcome. So, given that Rand Water is currently doing the system's maintenance, just how safe is the water that is currently being distributed at this period? Because as we understand, the taps are not going to be dry. They will be water, albeit lower pressure.
Good afternoon, Alicia, and good afternoon to your viewers. I think in terms of water quality, I think it's still safe to drink the water from the taps. That is not going to be affected during this maintenance. Should not be affected during this maintenance.
Mm-hmm. And what exactly then is the importance of the system's maintenance, Doctor, to ensure a good quality standard or for safe drinking water? We've heard about maintenance programs in other parts of the country, like, of course, the Lesotho Water Tunnel as well. So just how important is the maintenance of infrastructure for long term?
Look, I think maintenance is extremely important for all infrastructure. You must understand all kind of infrastructure has wear and tear, and we've got to maintain them so that they can operate well. And what we're seeing, for example, in many parts of Gauteng and other parts of the country as well, is that because we have not spent enough on maintenance of the infrastructure, we are finding that the systems are breaking, they are failing. So you're seeing an exorbitant amount of pipe bursts, leaks in city of Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, etc. So this maintenance is very important. But having said that, this is the beginning of the maintenance. We need much more. And this is being done by Rand Water. There's still a lot more that needs to be done with regards to the piping to the residents and the pipes that are bursting along the way to the residents by Joburg Water. So that's also a section of maintenance that needs to happen.
Absolutely. Now, the Department, Doctor of Water and Sanitation, presented a 2022-23 Green Drop Watch report, which obviously highlighted some areas of concern on the current state of wastewater systems throughout the country. So what is your view on this matter, and also looking at the water challenges that the country is currently facing?
I think it's very concerning, and just for your viewers, the Blue Drop report basically said that almost 46% of our drinking water systems are compromised. So that means they're not drinkable. And in terms of wastewater, almost 70% of our wastewater treatment works are not operating well. And that is quite concerning, because what it means is in many parts of South Africa, you can't drink the water. Our question to that is, well, where are the boil water notices? Municipalities, if they're testing and when they test and find that the drinking water is a problem, they need to issue a boil water notice. There are many parts of South Africa, and there are many parts, where people are asking, can I drink the water from the tap? And in order for us to know that, we are saying and we are asking municipalities, please make those results public. So if you go on Joburg Water, yes, there are results and they show you like they've tested 335 points. This is the results, but we have no idea where they've tested, and if something is wrong, we can't pinpoint where that is. So we need more transparency on the water quality data to make us understand if the water we're drinking in our municipalities are safe.
Now, Doctor, some areas like Hammanskraal, which actually made the headlines because some of the water challenges that the area was actually experiencing are still showing some evidence of contaminated water flowing through their taps. Now, we are waiting a new cabinet under the new government, and one of the factors that has been a dent in various departments has been issues of tenders given to non-qualifying companies or even candidates to actually do those jobs. So how do you think then can the new government actually address these type of issues, particularly when it comes to vital infrastructure like water and electricity?
I think there are a few things that we need to do. The one is that a lot of focus has been placed, in the last couple of years, and for obvious reasons, on state capture. We need to start homing in now on municipal capture. And the one way that this is being done is through our water services and water supply companies that are coming on board. I think that the mayor in Tshwane last week actually retracted a tender that was sent out for this particular reason. And that's what we need. We need people and mayors and ministers to be not afraid to actually step in where they suspect that there might be corruption and be open about it.
Now, let's look at canned water or bottled water, Doctor, for an instance. I mean, maybe talk to us about what actually goes into making this water actually safe or safer, as well as a better drinkable option as compared to water, tap water.
So, I think that there are many issues around bottled water, besides the fact that a lot of them are in plastics, which creates pollution. It also has microplastics possibility leaching into the water. But having said that, all drinking water is measured by standards, that South African national standards, 241, and that is something that even municipalities, when they're testing, there's a whole lot of criteria that they have to look at in terms of what minerals should be in there and the levels of the minerals, and so they have to do those tests according to those standards. And if they meet those standards, then of course the water is clean and it's possible to drink. Some of the drinking water that you get in bottles is actually from municipal water. They're just bottling it and selling it to people. So there's a difference between you'll get. And you have to look at the labels from bottled at source, spring water, and those are the kind, or in a sense, some of it's saying it's tap water, but not quite. So you have to look at all of that, but all of it is set by SANS 241.
Let's talk about those that are still using, for example, the water catchment systems at homes, or they have actually boreholes within their communities. How safe is this water to drink, Doctor? Because I don't think we actually make reference as much as we should to these types of waters, even though the various municipalities are always encouraging residents to actually use these means as an alternative source of getting fresh water.
That's a very, very, very good question. I think that the issue around our borehole water, firstly, needs better regulation. So in times when our government is asking us to not use too much water, we're in a drought period, let's be more mindful. There's often people who say, well, I'm using borehole water, so I don't have to bother. It's not true. There's a water cycle, depleting ground. Even though we have a lot of groundwater at the moment, depleting these resources during a time of drought does put strain on the system. So people need to realize that there's that's a full cycle, and they're part of that cycle. Also, it may be their borehole, but it's not their water. So some people have tried to sell their borehole water, but that's another story. In terms of quality, you have to test your borehole water, and you have to test the rainwater harvesting, what you get from rainwater harvesting into tanks. Because for rainwater that you're harvesting, you put it in your tanks, you can't assume you can drink it. It's going through your gutters. They may be not clean. Also, there's high levels of, if you take Gauteng and Johannesburg, there's high levels of air pollution every now and again, which could then pollute your rainwater that's coming into your tanks. So you have to get it tested. Those kind of tests have to be done at a laboratory to see if it's good enough to drink. In terms of borehole, generally in Gauteng, there's an advisory that you should not be drinking your borehole water. You should get it tested, and then if you need, use filters, but you need to test it almost annually, because borehole water, you must remember, it's like a big river flowing underground. It's not stagnant. It's not in the same place. You've got acid mine drainage that we in Gauteng are still dealing with. Absolutely. It hasn't gone away. You've got heavy metals in our water. So people have to be cautious about their borehole water and test regularly to make sure it's not affected by heavy metals.
Doctor, thank you so much for that great information. I'm sure a lot of users weren't even aware of some of the issues that we've raised this afternoon. Thank you so much for your input there, Dr. Ferrial Adam, the Executive Manager of WaterCAN, also just weighing in on some of the issues that we have pertaining to water challenges, as of course, particularly here in Gauteng, as of course Rand Water is currently undergoing an infrastructural overhaul.